the third preference.
Yeah.
It's the third preference, yeah, for sure. I think it's just, again, it's a versatile hero, right? Same sort of thing with the Tiny,
10
which is
seconds
why
remaining.
Tiny, such a high value. Same sort of thing with the Alchemist, same sort of thing with the Keeper of the
5
Light as
seconds
well.
remaining.
But we've seen people like Fnatic with
Radiant
Zhao playing the
team
Zeus,
pick.
and he's had a pretty decent level of success. Arcee, though, has had a lot of success in recent times, and it is one of those heroes that is instantly, it's not like the hard catch that you immediately think of, but it's instantly able to get in on top of the Keeper of the Light with using the rebound. You get the dispose
10
back, you
seconds
follow that up
remaining.
with a stun from the Alchemist, pop Unleash on the Marcy, and then Coddle dies pretty
5
damn quickly.
seconds remaining.
And Alchemist Marcy can be a pretty formidable lane as well if they are looking to run that in the side lane for Empire. They might have a bit of
Yep.
issues with dealing with the Enchantress creep though, just because they are a little bit. Oh, Alchemist, he's AoE, I guess, with the concoction and the acid spray, but I can't imagine it's going to be easy though to deal with the Enchantress creep.
Depends which creep you get as well,
Yeah.
right? Like if they get the mana burn creep, then GG. Basically, Enchantress has won the lane for you.
Radiant
But
team pick.
being able
Fire
to dispose back
vengeance.
into a acid spray is going to be a lot of damage coming through. Don't hate this from NoSorry. Again, it's just more protection for this Coddle. Already moving incredibly fast, but you got the Stampede on top of things. You've got some lockdown as well now to be able to prevent
10
a lot of that early
seconds
aggression.
remaining.
And it is that burst damage that I was talking about, right? You get the lockdown onto the
5
Alchemist,
seconds
you
remaining.
get the Illuminate with the Solar Bind plus the Sharpshooter. It's a lot into an Alch early on, but they are so heavily lacking in tower damage right now on NoSorry outside of maybe the Enchantress. Centaur isn't really it. Like, you'll take tier 1s, but that's about it. So I really want to see them go a little bit stronger into that route now. As to what it might be, not a horrible lifestealer game. You know, against the Zeus, it makes him not as effective. The uh, damage, the feast damage against an alchemist is good. If you get open wounds, it's good. Means you don't have to worry about, again, Marcy, another strength hero. You don't want to go illusions against a Zeus, so something like a TB is kind
Radiant
of out of there.
team ban.
Beastmaster.
Okay.
Like this pick.
So it's going to remove the flex, at least from the Alchemist to the off lane. So we're looking at more than likely a Beast Marcy lane. It could be a Beast Zeus and then putting the
10
Alchemist as like a
seconds
1 or
remaining.
mid. But I think more than likely Beast Marcy, put the Zeus mid.
5
And a
seconds
Alchemist
remaining.
carry here for Retrograde, which is another thing to mention. That
Dire team
Empire,
ban.
kind of, I just noticed it now. They have been trialing out a couple of different carries, but Retrograde is going to come back into the lineup. So we'll see how this is able to shape up for them.
Radiant team ban.
Okay, I was about to say I really wanted them to pick the PA on NoSorry, and I was a little worried that they were just going to get
Dire
run over
team
by an
ban.
Alchemist with his early timings plus the Beastmaster.
Radiant team
But
pick.
I'd actually ban out the Terrorblade even with the Zeus on their team. But I was thinking with the Coddle, they would be able to do enough to stall out the game. And of course, Enchantress PA, very strong lane, so they could be trying to abuse that as much as they could. So again, they need burst damage, they need tower push. That's the
10
big
seconds
two that
remaining.
they're hoping for right now on NoSorry.
5 seconds remaining.
And
Just-
something that doesn't just suck into a Beastmaster.
Just run the. I was going to say like Conquer Bristle, but then Beast keep going for the Axes build. So I was going to mention a Sniper because pretty much a lot of people are starting to mention the Sniper into Beastmaster. It doesn't matter if you go Axes or Boars, you do really well with him. And Empire don't have the greatest way to
Dire
actually
team
get on a
pick.
Sniper.
Faceless Void.
I do not like that pick at all. I'm not. Dream likes the hero. I'm not quite sure why they picked into Beastmaster. They do have a bunch of damage for the Chrono though with the Sharpshooter and the Coddle, but Void vs Beastmaster is you not very good.
You normally pick the
10
Beastmaster
Yes.
when you see the Void.
Yes.
Is what you're trying to say. Yeah, yeah. It is a little bit of a
5
concern. Again,
seconds
though,
remaining.
it's with an Enchantress on the team, right? So he's not just going to be able to use the Boars very consistently. That's the big reason why you pick the Beastmaster into the Faceless Void, is that you're just
Yeah,
taking a lot
okay.
of this slow incremental damage. So with the axes, it's not quite as bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see it maybe now because it does feel like the Chrono is going to be very good for them for the game at least. But just concerns in the lane. But like you said, you can't go the ball route. So the axes, maybe you should be able to deal with that.
Choose your
What's going
hero.
on?
Look at this early game, man. It's all early game, is what it is. We're seeing. Poof. This is an aggressive lineup for sure. BZZ bringing out the Dazzle. Like, they're just going to go and try and end this game in 25, 30 minutes on Empire. So this is all going to be around how well does the laning phase go for NoSorry, and does Manic die? If those two conditions are met by Empire, where they're able to get out of the laning phase okay, and if they're able to catch out this Coddle multiple times, which, you know, they've got a Beastmaster, they've got that Hawk Vision, then they should be in a pretty decent spot. I really want to see NoSorry prioritize getting a lot more of those Sentry Wards out than they normally would.
I'm intrigued on how this lane's going to go for the Alchemist and the Dazzle, though. It feels like it can be a pretty strong lane with the... I mean, that's a lot of physical damage. Dazzle, Alchemist with the minus armor, the concoction as well. And Centaur's a hero that doesn't really have a whole lot of armor being a strength hero, so maybe he's going to be forced to go into like a ring of protection. But like, I really think Alchemist is actually a strong laner at the moment, especially with how people are skill building him with the 2-2-1, like you mentioned before. I think it's actually underrated in regards to how well he's able to play the lane if you do have a support that can kind of play aggressive, and I think the Dazzle definitely fulfills that role. So for me, like, this is, I think, late game. Oh, I like
Is
Empire's.
it going to get to the
yes.
late game is the only question here.
Yeah, I like Empire's lineup a lot, and even if it gets to the late game, Zeus might just be able to carry. Like, they do really struggle to get on top of him this game. You've got the Beastmaster to protect him, the defensive factor from the Dazzle and the Marcy as well, if squad is ever caught out. You've got the Alchemist that's going to be charging in, so like maybe even late game it could be pretty difficult because they do have solid scaling. So I don't know. I think we're in set for a really, really interesting game one.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the Faceless Void, right? So maybe this is going to be one of those games where he does go that early-ish Aghanim Shard to be able to fight a little bit more effectively. It really depends, again, on how the lanes are going and how effective you've been able to be on the Keeper of the Light, with Manic being able to just shove these lanes out and prevent them from losing a ton of towers. If you're able to get, like, Maelstrom, BKB, and then Aghanim Shard, and then look to try and respond to Empire's push, I think you're actually in a pretty decent spot on NoSorry. Maybe this game as well, Retrograde, instead of the 2-2-1 build that I was talking about, might be a 3-1-1, just because the Acid Spray, very effective with all that physical damage, the armor reduction, and especially paired together with BZZ. Poison Touch, it's one of these weird things, it's physical, the damage coming through from Poison Touch, even though everything about it makes you think that it's magic. Same sort of thing with, like, Razor's Eye of the Storm.
I quickly want to mention that for some reason the win probability is saying Empire with a 54%. It was 53 before the bounties. Now it's going up even more. So I'm going to say Empire. I was on the edge, but now that Daddy Gaben has given them a slight advantage, how could I go against Almighty Gaben?
He is very mighty. I'm just going to go the opposite. I'm going to say NoSorry, just because I don't think they have the easiest way to catch out this Coddle. Like, if NoSorry play this game like they should, and that sounds a little pretentious, but, like, they just need to make sure that he's not getting flanked. He's not got to make sure that there's no Hawks just completely scouting out his vision, and then Manic should be fine to be able to stall this game out for long enough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the question of can both sides get on top of the position too. Like, I don't think NoSorry have the easiest time to be able to do that as the game goes later and later. Squad's positioning, especially with this goddamn jump from the Zeus. And like you said, it's going to be the same for Manic. So I feel like it's going to be a similar story that we're going to continue to tell between the position twos from NoSorry and Empire.
You look up on this top lane with Empire, they went for the stun and the heal at level 1 on BZZ and Retrograde. I'm wondering if that's because they want to hit level 2 super quickly so that they can make an aggressive move, which they've done, but look how far deep the lane is. They're not actually going to be able to convert onto what their ideal is. Yeah,
and I like this from last year. He did go for that Ring of Protection. Centaur's a hero that doesn't have 3 starting armors, definitely not the worst, but with all the physical damage. You mentioned the Poison Touch being physical, your Shadow Wave physical as well, so you're going to need any little bit of armor you can get. I wouldn't be surprised if... Oh, hang on, bottom lane, James. This should be our first blood. Here is Dream on the Faceless Void is going to be able to find it with the help of Archangel.
It's the impact of that time dilation, man. It makes his life so much harder. You're a master. You're always wanting to use, multiple abilities, at least 2 in a lot of these engagements. So just going that early point, getting that super slow, makes you convert it really easily. I mean, what better hero is there for the early game than an Enchantress as well?
Denied.
How are they going about blocking up some of the camps? Small and hard camps available by the lane.
I thank
They
you.
did use the Observe Ward to block one of the camps by the bounty, however, so Archangel won't have all the camps to be able to utilize.
Not too bad, not too bad. Has he been able to pick up anything, though, at this point?
Dire's
Doesn't seem like
courier
it.
has been killed.
Cobalt Foremen are pretty terrible to be able to get at this stage of the game. No need for the break either with the Hill Troll Berserker.
So they're able to... Is he going to get the pull off, or James going to be a bit of a nuisance? It is just a single pull, so nothing crazy. Although Dream... is a double wave coming through. He's going to pull it under the tower, unfortunately. So they're going to have the Faceless Void to be able to protect Archangel for the moment. Sharshlo has his second point in the axes as well, so Archangel is in a bit of trouble. He's going to be able to step out of harm's way to the west side, however.
Look at that time dilation ins back, though, right? Like, it just completely pushes them away. Marcy can't do anything about it. Unfortunately, he didn't keep running on Black Archangel to be able to secure the bounty rune, but, well, Empire, they'll gladly snare it. Just the 1 point in the Greevil's Greed right now, but every little bit does help. Really feels like Empire are about to go. Level 3, lanes pushed in really deep. You've got 1-1-1 on retrograde. Yeah, they want to catch out Yontier.
They should be able to do
He's
so.
dead.
Last year, oh, it's a nice double hoof stomp, but the pushback as well. They might get BZZ, and
God
hang
damn.
on, no way Yon makes it out. Beautifully done. Multiple stuns connecting onto both Retrograde and BZZ is going to cost them that kill.
Was not expecting that. I thought they were in prime spot to be able to convert. They might get more.
Yeah, Retrograde. It's going to try and charge up the concoction just to hold last hero back, and BZZ TP's in the nick of time. I'm going to be a bit cautious about that courier, but man, Retrograde taking a bit of a beating there.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Listen,
Dark light.
what's this glyph for?
Let's see what he goes level 4. Okay, Acid Spray, good. He's got 2 points in the Acid Spray. BZZ, you could just rotate again. Try and kill this Centaur. He's on his own. You forced out a lot of the resources on the Hoodwink as he's running back to base, but instead, just wanting to secure that bounty rune, it seems, on BZZ. Build up some stacks for the team, but really does feel like an opportunity gone begging. 2 points Poison Touch, plus the level 2 Acid Spray, plus a stun. That's basically a guaranteed death on Centaur.
I do like how Radiant, somehow they've already gotten outside and placed the ward down. It looks like actually it's about to expire. Hold that thought as bottom lane. Chargeflow again's in trouble. James going to try and give him the bonus movement speed coming out of the rebound. And he will not tick out to the dilation. Meanwhile, they get a kill up top though. Thunder God's Wrath, the extra assistance coming through from the global potential of squad secures the kill onto last hero.
Okay, well, they are at least able to secure that kill. You had the rotation coming up, of course, from Manek there to try and make that not happen quite so much. So at least they get the kill.
Bottom lane, James.
Probably comes a little later than they would have been wanting.
Rebounds out to the left. Be chilling. Got a lot of distance away with that rebound. Although Archangel is continuing to chase for the moment with the boots advantage, though. Looks like Marcy will be okay.
Just going straight into the Radiance on retrograde. It's for the farming aspect, not the greatest fighting item this game. Really only the Faceless Void that you're concerned about stopping with the evasion aspect.
Alright, we got an early rotation top from Manic. Gonna try and...
This is a big deal, actually. Like, they're
Radiant
tanking up
structures are
this
fortified.
creep wave a little bit here. You've got the ultimate as well on the Keeper of the Lights, so that'll be able to heal up the creep a little bit. Push out the wave, take this away, and this is really important if they get a kill, because they can just go into the jungle and take away all those stacks.
I don't think Marcy can do anything.
Tower is under
You're gonna TP squad to top. Manic
Oh,
is
maybe.
pushed a little bit too far forward here. Manic getting aggressive on the Coddle, and you need to play behind the Centaur, and they haven't done that. So giving away a big kill, and yeah, you see Retrograde instantly tipping over the position too, but bottom lane, we do see another kill though from NoSorry. It will come at the cost of the Chronosphere, however.
This bottom lane is just going incredibly well for Dream and Archangel, though. Look how low the tower is already, just from an Enchantress and a Faceless Void. not the
Dire's
strongest of
bottom
lanes.
tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Really does feel like an opportunity
Dire's
gone begging there.
bottom
Just
tower has
feeling a little
fallen.
bit eager, untouchable on the coddle. No
Dire's
pun
top
intended.
tower is under
But
attack.
you really just needed to take away those stacks, right? There was triple stacks built up in 3 separate camps inside of Empire's jungle, and now that you weren't able to connect through onto that, Alchemist hits level 6. He's able to move back into the jungle with that Soul Ring, clean them up, and give
Dire's
Empire a shot.
structures are fortified.
They're pinging it now.
Dire's top
Nicely
tower
done from
is under
Yon.
attack.
It's that bushwhack onto BZZ. James gonna fly into the middle, but it's a full charge of the blast from Manic. They're gonna try and get this kill as well, or just pushing them back at least so they can take the stack. That's a big
Yeah.
win for NoSorry.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what they needed to do. Looking to try and just increase the efficiency coming through. Archangel's the main target now, but he gets the heal off. Just level 1. He will take too much to be able to take him down there.
Illusion.
Still, though, overall, being able to take one of those camps, be able to take the tier 1 tower bot, be in the lead on kills, be in the lead on gold against an Alchemist, position 1, it's a big win coming through from NoSorry so far.
Time is
They got to
money.
keep up the pressure, though. Like, the fact that you're up against this Beastmaster draft and you've lost basically no damage into any of the towers is a pretty big win.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
On the Mask of Madness as well on the Faceless Void, really just wanting to amp up the extra little bit of movement speed and attack speed, guaranteeing that you get that chain lockdown onto the key targets.
He's had an exceptional start. And you did mention, though, like, maybe this lane is going to be a little bit better than we're anticipating. It's kind of that board build is a big way to deal with the Void, but because the Enchantress, she can't really go down this route. They just bodied the Beastmaster. Now Sharshlo is really far behind. It's kind of their tempo controller as well from Empire. If you don't have the Beastmaster off to a good start, then how are you going to be able to put pressure onto the towers? And this is going to give them so much breathing room on NoSorry. Like, Void can freely farm. You're giving Centaur a lot of space as well. This is a hero that doesn't get too active early. Like, we've seen last hero play this hero multiple times so far in Division 2, and he really just likes to park himself up top, get this Vanguard, get the Hood, a blink at a decent timing, then he's ready to start getting active.
Top tower is under attack.
The other thing as well is that outside of the Alchemist, who doesn't really want to be in the lane right now, he just wants to be taking a lot of these stacks, and the Zeus, they're pretty horrible at cleaning out any kind of split push that's going on Empire, right? It's really having to be squad, and if he puts himself in a bad spot, you've got the Stampede, you've got the Solar Bind, you've got the Enchant, you've got stuns, you've got Chrono. There's plenty of ways to catch him out, so it really feels like NoSorry are just taking this game on their terms right now.
And it feels like
They might try and come to this mid lane. You've got a siege creep here still. Not going to be in a position to go underneath the tower just yet. And you, of course, like I was saying before, you've got that Chronosphere available on Dream. Just
they're
a
in
question of
mid.
if he wants to use it.
Manic for the moment, but instant the Stampede. So the Coddle's able to reposition, and they just turn it back around as NoSorry. Getting rid of James. Manic's going to be okay. Even Dream is going to connect mid to offer some assistance on the push. They've got the Chrono ready to rock and roll with, so we'll make it difficult for Empire to set up a defense here.
Yeah, they can't do anything. BZZ just wants to try and get that poison touch onto the creep wave, but he's thinking, is it worth it? Is it? Is it? No, it doesn't seem like it.
The important thing, they're also defending bottom. So they get
Yep.
all the
That
tier 1
Beastmaster
towers,
draft.
and you keep this bottom wave alive as well.
And now it just becomes so much easier to invade into that dire jungle, right? One of the big strengths of going down that, or picking that side,
Oh,
rather.
Dream, Chronosphere.
Now Beastmaster
Yeah,
again.
he's able to block off the retreat. They've got the sharpshooter and the blast. That was something we were mentioning, though. They've got plenty of damage to be able to pump into the Chrono.
I don't know about this one, James. That's a little optimistic, just thinking that you're going to be able to take out an Enchantress. And they're just keeping the pressure going. Last hero pushing on forward. Can't really do anything to repel this just yet. And yep, they're doing exactly what I was wanting them to. I do want Dream to be playing a little bit more on the dire side of the map, though. Of course, you've always got this Radiant Triangle to fall back onto. as they speaking of jungles and farming, they're trying to again steal away Retrograde's farm and doing a pretty good job at it on Manic. But yeah, I think the Void just constantly needs to be out there as that presence, you know, because you've got Mask of Madness. You're all right at fighting.
I'm just looking towards the vessel that Manic's about to complete, and I feel like they're going to continue to play aggressive on NoSorry. There's going to be a huge window before Retrograde will be protected from that BKB. I mean, he's still trying to complete the Radiance as well.
And that doesn't even really feel like he'll be ready to fight, you know? I've been saying it before, that's just a farm accelerant. It's only really effective at stopping some of the Faceless Void's damage, and with the Beastmaster when he fell down before, I'm pretty sure Faceless Void did a minimal amount of damage into that. The Chrono was just holding in place for the Sharpshooter.
We're going to kill down bottom at least. 3 heroes from Empire is required.
3 ults as well required to be able to take down a position 5 just to get any kind of damage into this tower. It looks like they should be able to claim it, but again, they're just going to try and be more efficient on NoSorry's side. They don't care about that tower anymore. This bottom side of the map isn't where they want to be anyway. They want to be playing near Roche, they want to be playing near tier 2 towers, they want to be, at a stretch, playing inside the Dire Triangle.
They can... Yeah, it looks like with the blink on last hero, I was going to say, maybe if he had the hood, he could TP down. But they're actually looking to get a kill instead and invading the jungle. But nice read from Empire, backing up to their own triangle, making sure they're not going to bleed more kills into the way of NoSorry. But a 2,000 net worth lead feels like almost 5 or 6k at this stage, considering the Alchemist lineup is not the ones that are in the lead.
Yeah. They're ready to go. They've got that Blink Dagger, they've got the Spirit Vessel, Faceless Void, 5 seconds left on that Chronosphere. He might look to make a TP rotation once he finishes up this camp here.
Josh, though, is going to be the target. They'll see the axes, they know exactly where the Beastmaster is located. And look at the burst coming out. Manic and Yon pumping in plenty of damage. We're going to continue to see that multiple times this game. Yon going down this Veil route, so... yeah, we're really looking for some BKBs to protect Empire, and, well, they are not going to come out fast.
Yeah, that's the thing that's going to save him on Empire. Alchemist using that Radiance to be able to finish the BKB. That's exactly what they're going to be looking for. Can you abuse the timing? Because, again, you don't have the longest cooldowns on Radiant's side. They only really use the Sharpshooter to be able to claim that one there. And, well, it's basically nearly off cooldown again. As Yond just trying to clear out some of these pesky illusions, blocking up the Ancient camp, and, well, some nice micro means that they will be able to at least block the Ancient, not the hard camp. Feels to me like they might be getting a little bit too passive on NoSorry's side. Like, I know they have the later game, in my opinion, but I don't know. Like, you've gotten out of the laning stage in a really good spot. You got all your cooldowns available. Feels like prime time to just continue moving on forward.
I agree. I thought they were going to continue to play a little bit aggressive here from NoSorry. I mentioned the Spirit Vessel. Okay. Well, they do have a ward that I guess you could maybe catch out someone starting to move into the jungle. What objectives can they really get, though? Like, you need to shove in top lane so you can maybe get a pick off into a tier 2 tower. Because I think a pick off at this stage of the game is not enough. You kind of need at least 2 or an objective.
Yeah, I think any kind of kill around mid or top. Yeah, Squad would be a pretty big kill. Again, he is a big part of their D push right now, so if you're able to take him out, then maybe you can converge onto another tower. Getting rid of the Observer Ward. I'm not sure if Dream walked underneath that. Well, look at that dive.
Huh.
I mean, do they just Roche?
I don't know. Do they feel comfortable Roshing? I'm not actually quite sure if they do now without a pick-off. Stampede's on cooldown as well. Dream might get a solo kill top. Yeah, a couple of bashes coming out. He's gonna have the time milk up shortly when the Mask of Madness expires. Does go... oh, no. Chrono even committed as well from Dream. I guess he didn't tab onto the Master to see how long of the TP was going to be left and just wanted to secure the kill regardless. So... at least he does get a nice little injection of gold. They're also going to run it to Sharslow down bottom. Last year is going to be in with a combination. The rotation's coming out a little bit too late because meanwhile they've killed off Yon in the mid lane, so they didn't have the hoodwink for this follow-up damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under
This is big, Danog. Retrograde has BKB. They've lost a bit of a timing here.
Mm-hmm. They're going to look to try and get him to self-stun himself. Wonder if that'll be able to force the BKB. It won't, and they've got vision of him. But, well, just with 2 points into it, it's not going to stun for all that long. And maybe with the Chronosphere, they're just feeling even more confident in continuing to move on forward. Honestly, a win would be even just wasting the BKB here, but who can you put on the front lines? He doesn't care about Archangel's damage. It's not high enough just yet.
Rage about to expire. He's got to get up. Are they going back?
I was saying,
What's going on?
I don't know if you can, man. I think they're being a little too conservative and NoSorry, not just with their movements, but also even just the use of the Spirit Form. There've been a couple of times when Manic, with that extra movement speed, would have been able to catch out a target, but instead they don't, and it means that Empire are still able to just clump around each other, move on as 5, use the strength of their lineup, which is the Beastmaster, with the Inner Beast, with the Vision, with the Boars, and then continue this push on forward. So, what does Gaben think about it? Yep, it's pretty much exactly what we were expecting, right? From that...
Stampede out. It's going to get some distance away from NoSorry. James taking the brunt of the force for the moment, but again, the follow-up not perfect from NoSorry, so Empire, they're able to waste another ultimate out of the lads on Radiant.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Really don't want to be losing a tier 2 tower as well with this. I mean, the very good use of the creeps to be able to pull a little bit of the attention away, but Squad actually ends up just bringing it on through anyway. But they have the glyph. They're so close to being able to pick up that BKB on Faceless Void. They've actually got it, and they're prioritizing Roshan over this tier 2. It's not the worst choice, but I feel like they were in a position to take that Roshan a lot sooner.
How fast is it going down? Yeah, it's gone too fast for them to be able to get the tower and contest. So NoSorry will come at the cost of their tier 2 tower. Dream Aegis advantage now into the Faceless Void, level 15 as well. And they're going to smoke. I believe it was under Observer Ward. Yeah, they ping it out on Manic, so it looks like they are aware that they smoked onto the ward. They're going to try and wrap to their triangle before they get there, though, Manic. Smoke pops on James, and this will just be the sacrifice. Although, look at that range with the goddamn Aether Lens. James, he's back into the tree line.
Don't you love it? Isn't this a fair and balanced hero that we got?
Oh, nothing wrong. What do you mean? What? Crazy. Crazy that we're even trying to bring up a discussion that the Marcy is not balanced.
Counter smoke. If they could catch Manic, this would be huge for Empire. They see him.
How do you get in, though? Stampede, they're trying to connect. They're closing the distance pretty fast. Retrograde's going to jump in the river and go for the Enchantress instead. Couple of swipes, takes a while, but James with the Unleash, well, he'll get the punches coming in fast.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Dream even being very cautious with all of those heroes revealing on the other side of the map with complete vision around the triangle. He could have probably looked to take out Chachload there. He's even got the Aegis to be able to give him that extra layer of survivability, but just again, going back, being a little bit more passive. I'm not sure I completely understand this choice to try and out-farm an Alk.
See when they feel comfortable with taking this fight, though, on NoSorry.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Maybe Pipe? That is a really big item. Like, it completely stops the Zeus's damage.
Yes. It's not that much, man. It's like, what, 400 damage block? In the grand scheme of things, with static field, that's not a lot.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I suppose.
Time is money.
For Centaur himself, it's a big difference because the
Radiant's top
magic
tower
resist
is
goes from
under attack.
18% to 30, and then you've got a 10% for the entire team.
Dream? They see a lot of
he's
other
got
heroes mid.
Aegis lets you do things that normally you wouldn't.
Aegis does, but they got Roar and Retrograde
Dire's
nearby,
middle
and
tower is under
James.
attack.
Of course, it's very
Yeah,
scary
you kill him
jumping
once,
into
and then the team comes. You know?
Yeah, you kill them once you get out.
and then you don't have but then you don't have Raw for when they're just able to come back at you, right? Like Aegis is not about to expire, 2.5 minutes, but close enough.
We're gonna...
If NoSorry aren't making move around when Dream gets Scardy, I really don't know what they're doing, because they must feel like they can't get on top of the Alchemist. They don't have the burst anymore now that he has that BKB. But again, that's kind of their own doing. They
lane?
had this opportunity
They're
where
onto
he
last
didn't have the
hero.
BKB.
Stampede on pipe should be enough. He's going to get some distance to be able to pop the blink. Get another defensive use of the Stampede, though. They might be able to block off the retreat of Yon. Does make it up the stair line with the Scurry, so Yon's going to be okay. Oh, he has the haste as well. Yeah, I wonder if you mentioned before, but maybe NoSorry just feels like they're in a position where they can scale late game with the Faceless Void.
Maybe, but in my eyes, you should be... The fact that you got a bunch of tier 1 towers, fantastic by NoSorry.
Nice.
Definitely unexpected.
Good
Nice
old team.
scouting, Thunder God's Wrath. That's what you can do. I mean, even as a position 2, right? Prevents your squad from dying. The ones that honestly need to live right now are Shachlo as well as Retrograde. So if they're doing a good time, then shouldn't be all that concerned. They might actually be able to catch out Retrograde here. What's the vision looking like? Yeah, they see the creeps being pulled.
All right, he's going to jump. But look at BZZ's positioning. Perfect placement from the Dazzle. Retrograde's going to get the BKB and the ultimate up, but still Dream. Is he with the Chronosphere? Clips onto 2, but James tosses BZZ out of the Chrono. They're going to try and turn to deal with Retrograde with the BKB expiring.
BKB's gone.
Can they do everything they can to protect the Alchemist? They cannot. Retrograde goes down as NoSorry finally crack the Alchemist.
Maybe the Alk was the better target to be able to save inside that Chronosphere. He was still close enough to the edge there, especially with that Aether Lens. And, oh, yeah, that puts him a little bit more on the back foot. But finally, they made an attempt. They got aggressive with the Aegis just 30 seconds away from expiring. That's the sort of play that I want to see NoSorry continue to do.
Radiant are scanning.
You see, though, the positioning that... How important it is going to be, though, for BCZ and the supports. We just get a little bit of a glimpse of it. At the moment, Alchemist wasn't survivable enough to tank through it. As they're going to run into the Centaur again. Pipe and Stampede, enough to keep last hero alive. And this time, they're going to turn it back around with multiple heroes playing around Centaur's location. BCZ, though, looking to enter with the help of Shashlo, but they can't continue diving as they don't have Retrograde in the neighborhood. So BCZ, he's going to be intercepted on the high ground. Meanwhile, Dream also runs into Shashlo. 3 for nothing, and yep, they do get the kill onto Dazzle before the successful TP out, so NoSorry. A nice little skirmish and great reactions to help the Centaur.
Last hero was literally a single right-click away from dying as well, so that would have taken away a lot of your initiation while this Chronosphere is still on cooldown. The fact that they were able to get 3 kills again on NoSorry's side is a big plus for them, as they still haven't been able to make these kills result in more objectives. If there was one downside to say about their past 3 or so minutes, it's that. So obviously the next goal for them would be making that happen. You know, you've got the Chronosphere available in 15 seconds, level 20 on the Faceless Void, so insane attack speed. You've even got this creep wave coming here that Shashler was trying to stop with the Ancient Black Dragons. So siege creep, pushing in top, get your vision up, take away the outpost, set up for next Roshan, and if you can have the Skadi as well during all of that, then you're golden. This Observer Ward is completely scouting out their movements, though. It's just standing in a very obvious spot for the longest time.
Is this Radiance or Dyes we're speaking about? Which one, me?
Dyer's inside the triangle.
Yep. I wasn't sure if you were mentioning the Radiant Ward. I really like this one by the medium camp, I think that is, at the top outpost.
Mm-hmm.
We do not see
Our
often.
favorite Warpine Raiders.
They smoke under the ward? They might
They
have.
did. Alk was under it. Alk was definitely under.
Dream. Look at the ward on the high gun. He might be able to get blown up, but last year is him with a save, and they got to be cautious because they group up. Corona 1 to 2. Do they have the ways to deal with Dazzle, though? The protection could come out to keep Retrograde alive. He's standing toe-to-toe for the moment. He's going to try and turn to deal with the supports, but Retrograde is going to be cautious. With the BKB expiring, they can stack up the magic damage as Manic gets a completely free fight on the Coddle, but he's going to charge into the river as Manic not respecting the double back from Empire. And now they can reinitiate as James gonna try and find an angle in, running towards Dream. Looks like the time walk down to the low ground. Dream will escape.
Just being able to It was a little bit ballsy for him to continue farming there. Maybe just thinking, look, I've got the Skadi. I believe he actually had the Strength Treads and the Strength Vambrace toggled, so he wouldn't be stunned up for quite as long. And it's just those small little plays that make Dream an incredibly good carry. Just knowing how to push his limits. Let's see if he's able to push the map control as well, because it's 27 minutes. You can get this tier 3 item. You've also got that really valuable Aghanim shard available as well. And again, this is the big issue with Empire's draft. You don't have any of that instant lockdown if he does decide to just jump in, time dilation, and get straight on back out. He's actually just kept the time dilation at 1 point, not even opting to put another into it. Just feels like he needs to have that damage through stats to be able to take out the Alchemist when they do find those catches.
And I guess maybe the survivability as well. There's a potential for Empire to blow him up. He's very farmed on Dream, so I think it's 28 minutes in. Often you wouldn't expect, honestly, Faceless Void to be here. But you see kind of helping with Skadi Wand, like you said, the Vambrace BKB. It did also go max stats, but yeah, I'm very intrigued because before there's that potential where maybe you get the Roar into the Zeus blow up. Squad does even have the Scepter about to be completed as well. So yeah, very interesting build. We honestly were, for maybe like a couple of months ago, we were seeing a lot more people go into these stats builds where they felt like the maxing out the abilities wasn't as important, but we don't see as many heroes
like
in them.
Juggernaut in particular.
Yeah, we the Jug. I know you weren't too much of a fan of like the Shadow Fiend that was in the meta for like 3 weeks and then it disappeared. But we just kind of saw a couple of different heroes experiment with it, but feels like everyone currently in the meta doesn't like this, more points into the stats.
It certainly has its place.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're up against a mid-Zeus, time dilation is just incredibly valuable. So, again, with the way that he's been playing, at least he's like adapting his playstyle to how his team needs him to play. He is farming. He is participating in only the team fights that he wants to, It's not like he's leveling up time dilation because that doesn't help you jungle at all. Does have that, speaking of Aghanim shards, he picked one up for himself, even though this Roshan has recently spawned with one available, so we would assume that that's going to be given over to either Coddle or Centaur next if last hero, this team, was able to take it. Shad Slope.
Oh, we got him!
Be able to get away.
I'm pretty sure there was a long TP. I don't know where. No way. Oh my god, Charlotte just gave him the goddamn dukes. Alright, they're gonna find him. Blink. The time dilation, it just expired! Oh, no way! Dude, Charlotte, what was that?
Oh boy. That is by the skin of his teeth that he's able to get away.
BZZ?
Now they're kind of trickling back in this area. Yeah, BZZ just looking to get up some vision. Ooh.
Oh, not the
Oh, the
dukes!
juice! It's in the DNA. Oh, poor guy.
Rosh is out. Let's see if they force it. Dazzles is important to keep someone alive throughout the chrono. They don't have T2s though, so it's not like NoSorry can just go claim the outpost and then have this as an objective to maybe set up for some buyback TPs in if a fight does break out. But it looks like they're just going to start on Rosh regardless.
Oof. They do want to make this happen. Playing around that vision as much as possible. And they know that they
Retrograde.
have this understanding.
All right. Well, what's the play? Do you look to retreat? You force out the Chemical Rage. Retrograde.
Double stun.
See if you can get any follow-up off the back of that unstable concoction, though. It's going to be a lot of burst potential that they're not expecting. Yeah, Retrograde is going to pop a BKB. The Hoodwink with this Aghanim Scepter. Pick up that Retrograde. He can't get the BKB off luxuriously. He has to use it before he gets blown up.
They just have to abandon this Roche attempt completely. Empire just moving back onto the mid and bottom sides of the map. No Chemical Rage, no BKB. This is a second Roche for NoSorry. They'll probably lose that high ground vision as well. I do like that they've adjusted this though, right? They didn't just smack their heads into a brick wall saying, hey, we're going to be able to still do this without our only farmed core.
Mid lane.
Out of commission.
All right, this is a crazy play. So the Hoodwink just runs mid. You have everyone else hitting Roche. TPs are starting to come through. I think it's a question of Who's TPing first, though, is the big one. I think it was the Enchantress with the first, and Menix next. Probably not the greatest heroes. You would really want the Void. There we go. Last hero TP'd back to the T3 tower regardless. Sharpshooter's out. Can he be able to cut through the tree line? Oh, no, it's just going to expire with the invisibility, but he still blinks the hiker with the TP. Oh, my God, what? How do they all make it? The Dazzle will die, but multiple times, and Empire just survived. Dream? I was going to drop the Chrono for this. James again?
Oh my...
Chucks him out. They've got the Raw, dude.
Oh, with that Chrono, the Hawk was in mid-air as well, dive bombing in onto him. So it actually reset its position, considering the Chronosphere came out there. Stopping time and stopping the gank attempt, but more...
That's a lot of damage, and they're going to toss the Centaur back into the Nimbus. With Squad off to the side, he's providing the percent damage thanks to the static field, and they just melt through the light pool of the Centaur. So beautifully done from Empire, sensing a window there where they're able to kill off 2 heroes without the Faceless Void to be able to protect them.
Still holding on to the Aghanim Shard is the Faceless Void. Everyone else had actually TP'd before anyone picked it up after that Roche kill, obviously wanting to connect and convert onto the Alchemist. But honestly, there's no preference that I would have for either the Coddle or the Centaur. They're like meh shards, and it really does feel like NoSorry, for the most part, are playing around each other. Oh.
Is this the kill they're going to get? Retrograde has the Abyssal Blade. Oh, Dream. Nick of time with the Time Walk out to the right.
Maybe if they just didn't layer those stuns quite so much, they would have been able to pick it up. And it's, these damn decoys, man. You'll always get so tempted to want to take it out, but they're not taking the bait so far.
Oh, busy.
Smoke. Very nice. There you go. Gives the Centaur the shard.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I was just
a little bit of strength is never bad for a team fight.
Yeah, I was gonna ask where that Ag Shard went. There we go. We see it on last hero. It's something that when they were playing the Centaur, we were seeing him go the Ag Shard pretty early on, and we were kind of intrigued as, oh, hang on, top lane. Centaur, he's got some backup though. Yon's nearby, TPing in is going to be the keeper of the light as well. Last hero's going to have an opportunity to pop the Stampede, look at a retreat to the right, but this will give Dream, he's just beelining to the middle. Again, the TP up, but Squad, he won't make it. Dream just gets the Chronosphere, and then nick of time to be able to cancel the Zeus's escape. And NoSorry, they're able to find 2 throughout that skirmish.
I think this is absolutely one of those games where you're not really... I mean, both 25 talents on the Void are great, right? Backtrack plus the Chronosphere AoE. I think this game in particular, Chrono AoE is just really solid because of what you're coming up against. The Dazzle, of course, doesn't have any cast range items just yet, close to picking up that Aether Lens. But more importantly, the Marcy. That Dispose isn't going to be able to save quite as many targets if you've just got that little bit of extra radius on the Chronosphere. But of course, you know, Zeus, Alk, Unleash. That's a lot of quick burst damage that the Backtrack might help out with, and that's what Dream's valuing right now.
I don't think he saw Retrograde. Actually, maybe... Looks like he did. How close
he would have seen the Radiance burn.
Close to be out to some other 25s. Menic's going to be the next. Has this Hex completed with the Psychic Headband as well?
Might be taking a tier 2 tower finally. It's happening.
Let's go.
No, not that glyph.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They do kind of have to deal with this bottom lane though. Shashlo is doing a pretty good job to split push the map. This time they've got the double catapult wave as well to provide the damage. So yeah, tier 3 tower is going to fall to about half health.
Guess it's my shout.
I don't know if
It's a Coddle though with bots too. So obviously you could TP to heroes, but it also reduces the cooldown even further. So you could have a Coddle up here and just constantly have that ability to quickly join in and onto team fights.
I didn't know it reduced the channel time. Interesting. Does bots 1 reduce channel time?
Nope.
So just bots 2. Well, I guess you got to do something to bots 2 because it's pretty trash.
Ah, that's good. You can TP onto heroes, 20 extra movement speed, 10 seconds left less on the TP.
But okay, what do
1
you
second less. It's a lot, man.
What do you define it? How do you define good though? Because no one, you get this when you're pretty much 6 slotted and you've got nothing else to go.
Nah, I get it first item in all my pubs.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, hard stuck 1k. I wonder why.
Agree, I am 1k immortal.
Dream? The Void did buy out. They're gonna see Dream on the high ground. If they can bring down the Faceless Void, this is a gigantic kill. Dream's able to make it down, turns with the Chronos, he's able to find the Zeus. Again though, James tosses him out of harm's way with the Chrono, but still Dream is hunting. Gets the jump out of the right side, they just can't kill off the Zeus, so Dream turns to deal with James next, but he doesn't get anyone. Empire again! I think they see James, and yeah, Archangel will get that impetus with the ward dropped on the high ground, but how is it just the Marcy that dies?
Dire's courier has been
He was the target of the Chronosphere as well, but he was so quick on the fingers, able to get the blink out and then the save onto the Zeus. So, you know, maybe squad's got a little bit of that boomer hands going on. I know how that feels, but as long as you've got a support who's ready, waiting to be able to respond to that, then you're in a really good spot.
What do you buy out for? Satanic? Yeah, it looks like he got rid of Mask of Madness and yep, okay. Man, that would have been crazy. You get the Void kill and all of a sudden, I mean, their defense still is very good from NoSorry, but bit of an opening there. I was going to mention the question earlier, but how much is Retrograde really hit his cap here? Do we feel like the Alchemist is going to scale anymore?
I think you could probably afford to, like, he's gone the Moon Shard right now. I think you could honestly afford to give something like the, oh, have they found out the Alch? Speaking of him. I think you can afford to give an Ags over to someone like the Beastmaster, to be honest. Like, he's gone the Wild Axes damage amp per stack. So if you could just keep on spamming those out, it'll be a good amount of damage.
Yeah, he's got Aethelins queued up next as well, so I wonder if that is actually a thought for the lads on Empire. Retrograde MKBs.
That plus into Octarine. I guess Octarine doesn't really matter, but yeah, the Aethelins for sure.
Maybe even just Aethelins in general helps with, like, if you're on the outskirts of the Chrono, you just get that roar off to help mitigate the Void. Like, a lot of people consider the Bane as a nice answer, just because the Fiends group inside Chrono, the Nightmare save, but you know, maybe any, like, BKB piercing stun is going to be a great way to deal with him. Last hero?
Thanks, done.
Just off the mark. They're going to go in for this. Retrograde charging up the concoction, gets the double stun as well. They're going to be cautious if they all group up because Dream ready to rock and roll. Drops the Chrono onto 2, but they're nearby to be able to provide the save. They get BZ out, so we can turn with the Grade to keep Charge so alive for the moment, but Dream is still hunting. This Faceless Void will let no one escape, and oh no, Retrograde. He killed off the decoy, so they get the bushwhack. Retrograde's in trouble for the moment. Off to the side, though, Dream, he finally killed off Squad. Now we can join the rest of the team to get rid of the Alchemist as well. Dream ends his fight with the triple kill, and Retrograde doesn't have a buyback.
No buyback's a pretty big deal. He's already going into the MKB, maybe just expecting that Butterfly is next to come for Dream after having disassembled... Yeah, well, he's right. Having disassembled the Mask of Madness for the Satanic, I thought he might consider going into the Mage Slayer as well for the eventual build up into the Bloodthorn, just to make sure that you've got that extra impact if you're able to get it onto the Zeus, the damage being output there, even just some of the magic resistance could be kind of nice. Because the thing that I really like about NoSorry is that it feels to me like Empire, they don't have the draft to be able to get, like, an AoE teamfight victory, right? It is basically entirely single damage. And just have a look at some of the itemizations that are coming out for the supports. You've got a Solar Crest, which is pretty much a dead item, but it's been built up on the Hoodwink because you just need that extra little bit of armor to enable, for example, the Centaur to be able to survive that initial burst. It meant that he could Stampede, he got off the Pipe, he got off the Crimson Guard, he tossed a Lotus Orb out. Same sort of thing with the Enchantress, right? Glimmer Cape, first item, second item, Lotus Orb, because they just know that they only need to focus onto whichever one target is getting gone on.
I mean, you also love to give that Solar Crest out to Dream, a hero that really would Get great usage out of the bonus of attack
Dire's
speed.
middle tower is under attack.
This is scary now. Dream.
Attacking damn fast though.
Look at that. Aegis, Butterfly. They gave him the Scepter as well. Marcy?
Has fallen.
Well, they're instantly going to jump on that opportunity to get a kill. A freebie gone begging, though. The Grave Sharpshooter flying by, but he was able to harm his way onto the backline, though. Retrograde, he's got no follow-up. And Manic's reactions are on point. BKB, that's going to be enough to protect him for the moment. Now, Retrograde, he might be in trouble with the magic community not there. They're able to get the help coming through for the bonus damage. Thanks to the hoodwink and Retrograde just running to the right. They need to target him down. Where is Dream on the Faceless Void? They're not dealing with the Elk at the moment, but it will not matter. It looks like Dream is holding back all the defensive components of James. Soon to be a dieback last hero. Jumps to the backline, and there we go. They deal with the Marcy, now turning towards the Beastmaster as well, and Dream might be time to celebrate with some extra kills inside the fountain. Onto squad they go next. And NoSorry taking game one. What an incredible Faceless Void performance from Dream.
Dire's middle barracks.
Very, very nicely done. And yeah, did he die a single time? I don't think he did, right? Yeah,
Oh, sir.
14, 0, and 10. So honestly, to me, it felt like he had less kill involvements than 24 out of 31. There was that little bit of scary time, of course, when it just didn't feel like they were pushing that advantage that they'd gotten because of an amazing laning stage. But ever since then, it seemed like every team fight was just taken on their terms. Like I said, during the ending stages of that game, itemization on point, individual skill on point. But to be fair, on Empire's side, it was kind of there as well, right? The amount of Chronosphere saves, the amount of just quick reaction times out of James, and yeah, unfortunately for Retrograde, he wasn't able to use all of that farm to its fullest potential.
And we saw it get to the stage where NoSorry, the Faceless Void was able to prove that all that farming was not for nothing. You know, the amount of impact that we saw coming out for Dream, but it was a game that was incredibly close, and that is exactly what we're asking for in a series that has that much on the line. Of course, Empire, you know, if they're able to win this is do or die for them. If they lose this series, then they are guaranteed relegation. If they're able to at least somehow win this series, then they will force a four-way tiebreaker for those last two relegation slots. So there is still hope for them, and especially with how they performed in this game one. Unable to take the victory, but there was a lot of bright spots and just occasions where we felt like we could really see the lineup, you know, pulling together. But unfortunately, it just was not to be in the end. There's NoSorry. We'll take out game one. We'll find out if they're able to continue with this momentum into game two.